been quite a lot of criticism over the last few days when it comes to Veve, and the market dipping is definitely going to play a part in that. So some new investors or older investors might be a little bit worried and maybe thinking about panic selling some of their collectibles. So today we're going to discuss that, what my strategy is, what I think you should be looking at over the long run here, and how to handle these sort of situations in the future. So let's get started. Welcome everyone, my name is Andy and I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to come and watch this video on the channel. Just before we get going, if you are enjoying the content and you want to support me further, you can hit that subscribe button down below, and if you'd like to support me even further than that, you can join the membership. I want to thank everyone just for a quick second for all the birthday messages yesterday. I had an amazing birthday. I got to work on a ton of stuff. It was a really busy day, but the fact that I'm able to celebrate it with all you wonderful people, continue to push forward with what I'm aiming for, then it really means a lot. So thank you so much. We all have seen, if you've been involved anyway, there's been quite a lot of negativity when it comes to Veve recently, especially on Twitter. I think that's the most place where the negativity really thrives. And yeah, I guess there's some YouTube videos as well, but I think we're more on the constructive side when it comes to YouTube. But there has been quite a fair bit of negativity with people leaving Veve, saying they're not going to invest any more money into them, or they've lost out because their account has been disabled wrongfully. This has definitely had an effect on the market, as maybe there's some malicious people who are trying to get out as quickly as they can, so they're undercutting, people are FOMOing, people don't want in Veve anymore, people are seeing the prices dipping and therefore they're panicking. So there's a lot of other things when it comes to it, but at the end of the day, you know, this is just a part of a journey's success. You're never going to have something where everything's going to go smoothly, everything's just going to run up all the time. It's just not the case. I think that's important to note and understand for any investment that is. You're never going to have something that will always go up. There's always going to be retractions in the market. There's always going to be times and downfalls in a company where they're making mistakes and they have to sort them, and they have to fix them, and they have to move forward with them. I'm very sure that Veve know exactly what's going on and have seen the concerns in the community. I'm hoping they're doing something with it. And with our video yesterday, as well as a lot of other creators who were speaking about it, hopefully Veve have heard the noise and are willing to actually take this criticism on and try to move forward with it. Now back to the point that we're going to be talking about today, about selling your collectibles. Should you sell them all? Should you panic while everyone else is panicking? What should we actually be looking at? Well, the first thing I want you to bring onto is the pudding cheek spreadsheet that is made for the gems purchased each day that we've been getting over the last few. Actually got a new monthly record for gems purchased this month, with 62.8 million gems purchased, and over the last 4 days alone we've had 1.8 million, 2.6 million, 5.7 and 2.1 million gems purchased. This was after the ETH migration and after the market had opened back up. Now this is very significant because we're seeing a dip in the market, and quite a heavy dip at that, yet we're still getting near enough 2 million gems purchased each day. That does go to show there's a lot of people putting money into this space, and it's maybe not being spent as of yet. This could be for a lot of reasons, but it's definitely interesting to keep track of and actually understand what is happening maybe with the fluctuations in price. People are potentially waiting for a good buy-in point, and now seems like that time more than ever. Definitely dips in the market, but from last night and watching some of the YouTube videos, I can see that the market is already starting to bounce back and has already got another support level for where we're now at. I'm going to show you some of those fluctuations in the market and try to help you understand that a little bit further, just as to what's going on and maybe what to pay attention to for the future when things like this happen. Last night, for example, was probably the main time where all of the negativity was really spreading, and this is where we saw quite a dip. So we saw the Green Goblin, for example, who was just released, go from around 840 gems all the way down to about 700, but about 1 in the morning we saw a bounce back, and now he's all the way back up to about 820 gems, close to what he was sitting at before when the dip had happened. Now he obviously did start quite high, and we can see that the listings did start to go up, but now we're seeing a decline again, and quite a steady decline at that for the listings that are going down. This is the sort of market bounce back, and we could see it with Spider-Man as well. We're more likely going to see it 1 in the morning last night is when the bounce back happened. If we look at around about 9 o'clock last night, that's when it started to dip, and we're seeing again at 1 o'clock, I'm going down to all the way about 135. He's now made his way back up to 166. This is a healthy correction to happen, and I think this is after people have maybe cooled down a little bit. They've realized, hey, you know what, I'm still going to be staying in Veve for the long run. I still believe in their long-term success. I'm going to buy back in. What we should see is the listings go up round about that time and then start to fall down steadily again as we're moving. We can see from here about 9 o'clock we saw the listings actually go up from 978 to about 1012, and then about 1 o'clock we saw the listings steadily start to go down again. It was continuing to go down over time. Commons work a little bit differently compared to things like ultra rares, but it does have some sort of similar pattern when it comes to it. When prices dip, listings often go up quite sharply. After that, once there's a bounce back, we tend to see the listings go down. They start to go down quite healthily at that point. I also want to show you something that you have to maybe start looking at your investments in a little bit of a different way. It seems like people have tunnel vision when it comes to their investments and the money that they're putting into things, and can't seem to look back any further than a couple of weeks or a couple of weeks ahead for potentially what's going to be happening. So if we look on the screen here, we can see Superman in January 17th, he was at 8,500 gems, and now we're down to 5,000. But at the end of the day, this is only from a very small window of Veve's actual milestones that they've been able to reach. Because if I just do one small zoom out, we can see that Superman has went all the way from 1,000 at the time of starting the recording. Now, he was way back down at 250 gems when he was first released, and now we're seeing 5,000. So even from October, we're still seeing a 5x from that. It's not quite the 8x we saw at the middle of the month, but we're still very, very much up on our investments. And I think this is really important for you as an investor to actually just zoom out a little bit further. People have done it with the cryptocurrencies and even stocks. When you zoom out, yes, the short term might look a little bit bleak, but if you zoom out and you actually see the bigger picture of what you've done, you're going to see the returns you actually were looking for all along. When Superman was 50, you never expected them to reach 1,000. When Superman was 250, you never expected them to reach 1,000. When Superman was 1,000, you never expected them to reach 5,000. But now we're seeing that this long game, especially if we believe in Veve's success, is going to help continuously push us forward. There's going to be dips in the market. There's going to be retractions. There's going to be things that happen that cause the markets to get to places we don't want them to be. And that's okay. But if you're someone who panics, and you're someone who listens to the FOMO, and you're someone who doesn't do your own research and actually understand this as a whole, then you're going to panic when other people do. Sell off when other people do at a lower cost than you're probably comfortable with doing, and then maybe miss out on some potential future grails. It's not to say that you'll always be wrong. You might sell something off at the right time, are able to buy back in even cheaper, or you might sell something off and it just actually doesn't really go anywhere from there. And that's okay. These things actually do happen in our investments because we're never going to get 100% of things right. But we have to start zooming out with our investments and understand why we are actually here and for what period of time. Another thing I would like to just say is that please remember, NFTs are the most speculative investment that we have at the moment. They're not like stocks, they're not like index funds. Do not put all of the money that you cannot afford to lose into NFTs. And you might be thinking, yeah, I can make a lot of money, so I'll put it in. Great, do that. But remember, again, by doing your research, you'll know that MTL isn't here yet. You can't take out your cash. Veve is a more centralized base because they're signed with the likes of Disney and Marvel. Be smart with the money that you're putting into this and understand that you can lose it all in the blink of an eye if you're not careful. I am very, very bullish on the future of what NFTs are and the future of Veve. But I also did not put my life savings into what Veve is because I knew we're still in a very, very speculative area. So please make sure that if you're putting money into this space, you can afford to lose it and you understand that the only way to take it out right now is through escrow. And through that, you're most likely not going to get the same equivalent as what you will get once MTL actually arrives. Is this the time to sell then? Should you be selling off everything? Well, I think it's probably quite clear from my thoughts anyway, that I think this is a time to buy. But if you don't have the money to buy at the moment, don't worry, it's not bad. You're going to get other opportunities, there's going to be other times for you to buy in, but I do believe if you have some gems right now and there's something that you think over the long term can really work in your favor, this is quite a good time to buy in. A good opportunity to get some grails and hold for the long run and see where those prices run up to. And you've also got an opportunity to understand the market a little bit further and see how things move when news actually comes along with it. For me, I don't have a ton of gems to spend at the moment. I have a couple hundred, but I'm actually saving most of them because I'm just okay with holding on to them as of right now. I'm trying to sell off some things, but I'm not willing to sell them off at a price I'm not okay with. Putting something in the market, make sure that if it does sell, you're completely fine with that decision because you have made the decision originally to put it on the market. So for me, I've got things on the market waiting to sell, but if they don't sell at that price, that's okay too. My strategy is starting to shift a little bit when it comes to Veve, as I'm focusing more on the things that I believe will have the true long-term vision of what they will hold. This is things that will be the grail status in my eyes and something that I see actually playing a massive part in my future financially to help me help others do the same. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what's going on at the moment. Are you panic selling or are you actually buying in for this opportunity? It'll be interesting to see what people are doing as more gems are still continuously being purchased every single day on the Veve app. I know the video on the screen right now will be something you'll love to watch. Have a fantastic day.